Wobrick sculptors, welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit more controversial. Now, everything you see in front of you here is not Lego. If it was, this would be some of the rarest stuff you've ever seen. No, these are all recolored pieces by another company. That company is Wobrick. I buy most of the stuff through the site Wobrick. I can link that in the description. And this is not a paid advertisement. This is stuff I picked up on my own just to test out and see what it looks like. Now, there's lots of reasons to buy an alternate brick. I know some of the Lego purists out there are going to hate this, and I myself have always considered myself more of a Lego purist. But when you look at stuff like this, it sure makes you wonder what the other side is like. And the reason being is these are all fantastically useful pieces in colors that would just be so awesome to have. You know, all these different colors of bottles, baskets, trash bags, bowls, the different flowers, the different berries, stuff that Lego makes, but the colors are super limited. Some of the stuff has been discontinued. Also, Lego no longer makes it. Plants in different colors that they don't offer. Things that are super, super handy to have. And things like these olive green 3-branch pieces, crazy expensive in Lego. If you were going to use a lot of those in a mock, you'd go broke trying to buy those little useless pieces. But you can get them from a third party for fairly inexpensive. Same with this type of branch here. And Lego never made these in brown. They only made them in green, and they're ridiculously expensive for one of them. So stuff like that, this is where it kind of tests my Lego purity. How committed am I? Do I want to stick to just what Lego does? And I know in the comments, some people are going to say, well, that's part of the fun is working within a system. And I can agree with that point. I get that. I think that's fair for building competitions, for, if you're trying to build a mock for a contest, something like that, that makes a lot of sense. But if you're just trying to be creative, you better believe that if Lego's going to make a new set and they want to have a blue bottle, they're going to make a blue bottle. So it's kind of unfair to say that the rest of us, if we want to create something new, can't have a blue bottle. With that being said, of course, I don't want to take any credit away from Lego. They designed this system, they created this stuff, and obviously we owe them a lot for doing that. But there's nothing wrong with trying to expand our horizons. Now, I currently don't use this stuff in my city. I'm still teetering on if I want to or not. And one main reason I'm making this video is I just got an order in the mail. Now this order, I actually forgot I did this until this showed up. This stuff takes quite a while to get. It comes straight from Asia. I think China, not 100%, don't quote me on that. Comes in these very strange, tightly packed bags with very nondescript, I know I blacked it all out, but very nondescript labeling on it. And it comes jammed in there in one tight bag. And it comes with a piece of paper in not English that tells you everything that's in there. So it's quite interesting, but I want to tell you what inspired this order. Because as you can see, I've amassed a decent amount of this just in a few orders, trying to pick out certain things I found interesting to make videos on and possibly use in the future. Let me show you what's in this order here and why I was inspired to order this. So as you know, I've been working on my downtown in my Lego city. And one of the buildings I really want to build is an old warehouse, kind of more industrial building that's been converted into a brew pub. So I want to have brewing equipment in there, I want to have a bar in there, and I want a basement that's storage for all the products made there. And in starting to research for that project, I found a couple of items I needed to bulk up on. If I was going to do a storeroom, I thought I needed a lot of barrels. And I actually have a decent amount of barrels, but most of my barrels are the old brown, because a lot of my collection is quite old, not the newer reddish brown. I figured I also needed a lot of bottles and cans. Now, the reason I was inspired to do this as opposed to just going on Brick Owl or Bricklink and buying this stuff was the prices. These are going to be small detail pieces. I need a lot of them. This is 50 of these silver 1x1 rounds, which I thought would be a pretty simple piece to pick up. Believe it or not, if you go on Bricklink or Brick Owl, I tend to use Brick Owl, one of these is about 15 cents each. which is expensive. But the bigger thing is they're impossible to get. On all of Brick Owl, there are 15 of these listed. At 6 different sellers. The seller that had the most of them was only 6, and none of them were located in the United States. So to track down, and this is 50 of them here, to track that down in Lego would be near impossible, expensive for no reason on such a kind of pointless piece. It's just a flat silver 1x1 round. For what? Just to say it's pure Lego? If Lego were to make a brew pub and they wanted to use this piece for an aluminum can that's not labeled, they would simply produce this piece. So it's only fair that I can do the same. Again, we're kind of crossing a line here because I haven't done this in my city yet. So as far as maybe with a few minor exceptions that I don't really even know about, I haven't really used non-Lego stuff. But I think this might be a breakout point where I'm going to use non-Lego stuff that is replicas of actual Lego stuff. The other thing is these bottles. I got 30 of these. I paid $5.40. You might be saying, yeah, that's kind of a lot for those. And you're not wrong. That is kind of pricey. But if you compare that to Lego, these are 35 cents a piece. At $5.40 for 30 of them, they're 18 cents a piece. So it's roughly half the price if you get non-Lego. And these, again, are going to be detail pieces. I'm going to have them stacked up in clusters. I need a lot of them. 35 cents a piece is ridiculous. Also, most sellers have like 5, maybe 10. It's hard to get a lot in one place. And then you're doing multiple orders, multiple shipping, etc., etc. So I just got them from Wobrick. And I can say I have a lot of experience with the Wobrick stuff. I've done several Fantasy sets on my Brick Sculpt Reviews channels. All of Fantasy's bricks are Wobricks. The stuff is really nice quality, and it definitely rivals what Lego is doing. So I can definitely say this is nice quality stuff. It's not cheap knockoff junk. It's going to hold up. It's going to clutch well. It's going to work well with the build. And then we get down to our barrels. So I got 30 barrels here. I paid $5.10 for these, which is 17 cents a barrel. Barrels on Brick Owl were 25 cents-ish a piece, and they definitely went up from there. That's just what the cheaper sellers were selling them at. Hard to find a lot from one seller again, so I got 30 of them here that I can do barrel stacks with. So let me know what you think in the comments. Should I do a little breakout here, and should I do this mock with some non-genuine Lego pieces, or should I cut it out, get back to my roots, and just use Lego stuff? But lots of other cool stuff in here. This stuff is really inexpensive, so I just kind of go through the catalog, look down at what they've got, and just pick and choose what I want. You know, it doesn't cost a lot when the stuff's inexpensive just to throw something in there to try it. This whole order, I think, was like 35 bucks or less, shipped. You know, and just cool things you can get. You know, lots of different colors of pieces that you already would own, but don't have that color in. So I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know below in the comments. Is this cheating? Is this not right? Do you like this? Do you think this is exciting and can really enhance a build? Let me know. Well, that's all I have for this time. I hope you guys liked this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I do more just like this in the future. That's all I've got for this time, and we will see you next time.